but to the earth some special good doth give. Nor aught so good but strained from that fair use revolts from true birth, stumbling on abuse. Virtue itself turns vice being supplied, and vice sometimes by action, dignified within the infant rind of this small flower. Poison hath residence and medicine power, for this being smelt with that part cheers. Each part being tasted slays all senses with the heart. To such opposing kings encamp them still in man, as well as herbs. Grace and rude will end where the worser is predominant. Full soon the canker death eats up that plant. Enter Romeo, good morrow, Father Benedicti. What early tongue so sweet salutes me? Young son, it argues, a distempered head, so soon to bid good morrow to thy bed. Care keeps his watch in every old man's eye, and where care lodges sleep will never lie. But where unbruised youth with unstuffed brain doth couch his limbs, there golden sleep doth reign. Therefore thy earthiness doth me assure thou art uproused with some distemper. Or if not so, then here I hit it right. Our Romeo hath not been to bed tonight. That last is true, the sweeter rest was mine. God pardon sin, was thou with Rosalind? With Rosalind, my ghostly father? No, I have forgot that name, and that name's woe, that's my good son. But where hast thou been then? I'll tell thee ere thou ask at me again. I have been feasting with mine enemy, where on a sudden one hath wounded me. That's by me wounded, both our remedies within thy help and holy physic lies. I bear no hatred, blessed man, for lo, my intercession likewise stabs my foe. Be plain, good son, and humbly in thy drift. Riddling confession finds but riddling shrift. Then plainly know my heart's dear love is set on the fair daughter of rich Capulet. As mine on hers, so hers is set on mine, and all combine, save what thou must combine by holy marriage. When and where and how we met, we wooed and made exchange of vow. I'll tell thee as we pass at this. I pray that thou consent to marry us today. Holy Saint Francis, what a changes! Here is Rosalind that thou didst love so dear, so soon forsaken. Young men's love then lies not truly in their hearts, but in their eyes, Hazu Maria. What a deal of brine hath washed thy sallow cheeks for Rosalind! How much salt water thrown away in waste to season love, that doth not taste the sun. Not yet thy sighs from heaven clears the old groans ring. Yet in mine ancient ears, lo, here upon thy cheek, the stain doth sit of an old tear that is not washed off yet. If e'er thou wast thyself and these woes, thine thou and these woes were all for Rosalind. And not thou change pronounce these sentences, then women may fall where there's no strength in men. About chits me oft for loving, Rosalind for doting, not for loving. Pupil mine and bates me bury, love not in a grave to lay one in another out to have. I pray thee chide not she whom I love. Now doth grace for grace and love for love. Allow the other did not so. She knew well. Thy love did read by rote that could not spell. But come, young waver, come. Go with me in one respect. I thy assistant be for this alliance. May so happy prove to turn our household's rancor to pure love. Oh, let us hence, I stand on sudden haste. Wisely and slow they stumble that run fast excellent. Scene for a street. Enter Benvolio and Mercutio. Where the devil should this Romeo be? Came he not home tonight, not to his father's? I spoke with his man, that same pale hard-hearted wench that Roslyn torments him so that he will sure run mad. Timbert the kinsman of old Capulet hath sent a letter to his father's house. A challenge on my life, Romeo will answer it. Any man that can write may answer a letter. Nay, he will answer the letter's
How
master.
he dares,
being dead, alas! Poor Romeo, he is already dead. Stabbed with a white wench's black eye. Shot through the ear with a love song. The very pin of his heart cleft. With the blind boy's butt shaft. And is he a man to encounter Tybalt? Why? What is Tybalt more than a prince of cats? I can tell you. Oh, he's the courageous captain of compliments. He fights as you sing prick song. Keeps time, distance, and proportion. Rests me his minimum rest 1. 2 and the 3rd in your bosom. The very butcher of a silk button, a duelist, a duelist. A gentleman of the very first house, of the first and second cause. The immortal passado, the punto verso the hay. The what? The pox of such antic lisping affected fantascos. These new tuners of accents. Buys you a very good blade. A very tall man, a very good whore. Why is not this a lamentable thing, grandsire? That we should be thus afflicted with these strange flies, these fashion mongers, these pardonous moyas, who stand so much on the new form that they cannot sit at ease on the old bench. Oh, their bonds! Their bonds! Here comes Romeo! Here comes Romeo without his row! Like a dried herring, oh flesh! How art thou fishified now? Is he for the numbers that Petrarch flowed in? Laura to his lady was but a kitchen wench merry. She had a better love to berhyme her Dido? A dowdy Cleopatra, a gypsy? Helen and hero Hildings and harlots, Thisbe a grey, aye or so. But not to the purpose. Enter Romeo. Seigneur Romeo, bonjour. There is a French salutation to your French slop. You gave us the counterfeit fairly last night. Good morrow to you both. What counterfeit did I give you? The slip, sir. The slip, can you not conceive pardon? Good Moscow, my business was great, and in such a case as mine, a man may strain courtesy. That's as much to say such a case as yours constrains a man to bow in the hands. Meeting to curtsy, thou hast most kindly hit it. A most courteous exposition. Nay, I am the very pink of curtsy. Pink for flower, right. Why then is my pump well flowered? Well said, follow me this just now. Till thou hast worn out thy pump, that when the single soul of it is worn, the jest may remain after the wearing. Soul singular. O single soul jest, solely singular, for the singleness come between us. Good Benvolio, my wits, faint swits and spurs, or I'll cry a match. Nay, if thy wits run the wild goose chase, I have done. For thou hast more of the wild goose in one of thy wits than I am sure I have in my whole 5. Was I with you there for the goose? Thou was never with me for anything, when thou was not there for the goose. I will bite thee by the ear for that jest. Nay, good goose, bite not thy wit is a very bitter sweetening. It is a most sharp sauce, and is it not then well served into a sweet goose? Oh, each here's a wit of Cheverel. That stretches from an inch narrow to an ell broad. I will stretch it out for that word broad, which added to the goose, proves the far and wide a broad goose. Why is this not better now than groaning for love? Now art thou sociable, now art thou Romeo. Now art thou what thou art by art as well as by nature. For this, dribbling love is like a great natural that runs, lolling up and down to hide his bubble in a hole. Stop there, thou desirest me to stop in my tale against the hair. Thou wouldst else have made thy tale large. Oh, thou art deceived. I would have made it short, for I was come to the whole depth of my tale, and meant indeed to occupy the argument. No longer here's goodly gear. Enter nurse and Peter a sail. A sail, two, a shirt and a smock Peter anon. My fan Peter, good Peter to hide her face for her fans. The fairer face got ye good morrow, gentlemen. Got ye good den, fair gentlewomen. Is it good den? 'Tis no less, I tell ye for the body. Hand of the dial is now upon the prick of noon. Out upon you, what a man are you? One gentlewoman that God hath made for himself tomorrow. By my troth it is well said. For himself tomorrow, quoth he. Gentlemen, can any of you tell me where I may find the young Romeo? I can tell you, but young Romeo will be older when you have found him than he was when you sought him. I am the youngest of that name. For fault of the worst you say. Well, yeah. Is the worst well? Very well, took your faith wisely. Wisely if you be he, sir. I desire some confidence with you. She will indite into some supper. What else? I found no hair, sir. Unless a hare, sir, in a Lenten pie that is something stale and a whore. Ere it be spent sings an old hare whore. And an old hare whore is very good meat in Lent. But a hare that is whore is too much for a score, when it whores ere it be spent. Romeo, will you come to your father's will to dinner? Thither I will follow you. Farewell, ancient lady. Farewell, singing lady, lady, lay. Exeunt Mercutio and Benvolio. Marry, farewell, I pray you, sir. What saucy merchant was this that was so full of his ropery? A gentleman nurse that loves to hear himself talk, and will speak more in a minute than he will stand in a month, and to speak anything against me. I'll take him down, and a were lustier than he is. And 20 such jacks, and if I cannot, I'll find those that shall scurvy knave. I am none of his flirt gills, I am none of his skeins mates, and them must stand by, to and suffer every knave to use me at his pleasure. I saw no man use you at his pleasure. If I had my weapon should quickly have been out. I warrant you I dare draw as soon as another man, if I see occasion in a good quarrel, and the law is on my side. Now before God, I am so vexed that every part about me quivers. Scurvy knave, pray you, sir, a word, and as I told you, my young lady bid me inquire you out, which she bade me say I will keep to myself. But first let me tell ye, if you should lead her into a fool's paradise, as they say, it were a very gross kind of behavior. As they say, for the gentlewoman is young, and therefore if you should deal double with her, truly, it were an ill thing to be offered to any gentlewoman, and very weak dealing nurse. Commend me to thy lady and mistress, I protest unto thee good heart, and if faith I will tell her as much Lord. Lord, she will be a joyful woman. What wilt thou tell her, nurse? That does not mark me, I will tell her, sir, that you do protest, which, as I take it, is a gentlemanlike offer. Bid her devise some means to come to Shrift this afternoon, and there she shall. At Friar Lawrence's shall be shrived and married. Here is for thy pains, no truly, not sir. A penny go to. I say you shall this afternoon, sir. Well, she shall be there and stay. Good nurse behind the abbey wall. Within this hour my man shall be with thee, and bring thee cords made like a tackled stair, which to the high top gallant of my joy must be my convoy in a secret night. Farewell, be trusty, and I'll quit thy pains. Farewell. Commend me to thy mistress now. God in heaven bless thee. Hark you, sir. What sayest thou, my dear nurse? Is your man's secret, did you now hear? Say to me, keep counsel, putting one away. I warrant thee my man's as true as steel. Well, sir, my mistress is the sweetest lady. Lord went was a little prating thing. Oh, there's a nobleman in town, one Paris, that would fain lay knife aboard. But she good soul had his leave. See a toad a very toad to see him. I anger her sometimes and tell her that Paris is the proper man, but I'll warrant you when I say so. She looks as pale as any cloud in the versal world. Does not Rosemary and Romeo both begin with a letter? Innes, what of that? Both within our marker. What's the dog's name is for the dog? No, I know it begins with some other letter, and she hath the prettiest sententious of it. Of you and Rosemary, that it would do you good to hear it. Commend me to thy lady 1,000 times. Exit Romeo, Peter, anon Peter. Take my fan and go before exit. Scene 5, Capulet's garden. Enter Juliet. The clock struck 9 when I did send the nurse. In half an hour she promised to return. Perchance she cannot meet him. That's not so. She is lame love's herald should be thoughts, which 10 times faster glide than the sun's beams, driving back shadows over lowering hills. Therefore do nimble pigeon doves draw love, and therefore hath the wind swift Cupid's wings. Now is the sun upon the high most hill of this day's journey, and from 9 till 12 is 3 long hours. Yet she is not come. Had she affections and warm youthful blood, she'd be as swift in motion as a ball. My words would bandy her to my sweet love and his to me. But old folks many feign as they were dead unwieldy, slow, heavy, and pale as lead. Oh God! She comes, enter nurse and Peter. Oh, honey nurse, what news hast thou met with him? Send thy man away, Peter. Stay at the gate, exit Peter now. Good sweet nurse. O Lord, why look'st thou sad though news? Be sad yet tell them merrily. If good thou shapes the music of sweet news, by playing it to me with so sour a face. I am a weary, give me leave a while. Fie, how my bones ache, what a jaunt have I had! I would thou hadst my bones, and I thy news. Nay, come, I pray thee, speak good. Good nurse, speak Jesu. What haste, can you not stay a while? Do you not see that I am out of breath? How art thou out of breath, when thou hast breath? To say to me that thou art out of breath, the excuse that thou dost make in this longer delay than the tale thou dost excuse. Is thy news good or bad? Answer to that. Say either, and I'll stay. The circumstance let me be satisfied. Is it good or bad? Well, you have made a simple choice. You know not how to choose a man, Romeo. No, not he. Though his face be better than any man's, yet his leg excels all men's. And for a hand and a foot and a body, though they be not to be talked on, yet they are past compare. He is not the flower of courtesy, but I'll warrant him as gentle as a lamb. Go thy ways, wench. Serve God, what have you dined at home? No, but all this did I know before. What says he of our marriage? What of that lord? How my head aches, what a head have I! It beats as if it would fall in 20 pieces. My back at the other side. Oh, my back be sure your heart. For sending me about to catch my death, with jumping up and down, if faith. I am sorry that thou art not well. Sweet nurse, tell me, what says my love? Your love says, like an honest gentleman, and a courteous, and a kind, and a handsome, and the first warrant a virtuous. Where is your mother? Where is my mother? Why, she is within. Where should she be? How oddly thou repliest. Your love says, like an honest gentleman. Where is your mother, oh, God's lady dear? Are you so hot, Mary? Come up, I throw. Is this the poultice for my aching bones? Henceforward do your messages yourself. Here's such a coil. Come, what says Romeo? Have you got leave to go to shrift today? I have, then hie you hence to Friar Lawrence's cell. there stays a husband to make you a wife. Now comes the wanton blood up in your cheeks. They'll be in scarlet straight at any news. How you to church? I must another way to fetch a ladder by the which your love must climb a bird's nest when it is dark. I am the drudge and toil in your delight. But you shall bear the burden soon at night. Go all to dinner, how you to the cell. Oh, high to high fortune. Honest nurse, farewell. Excellent scene 6, Friar Lawrence's cell. Enter Friar Lawrence and Romeo. So smile the heavens upon this holy act, that after hours with sorrow chides us not amen. Amen, but come what sorrow can, it cannot countervail the exchange of joy that one short minute gives in me. Her sight. Do thou but close our hands with holy words, then love devouring death do what he dare. It is enough I may but call her mine. These violent delights have violent ends, and in their triumph die like fire and powder, which as they kiss consume the sweetest. Honey is loathsome in his own deliciousness, and in the taste confounds the appetite. Therefore love, moderately long love doth so to swift, arrives as tardy as to slow. Here comes the lady-o, so light of foot will ne'er wear out the everlasting flint. A lover may bestride the gossamer that idles in the wanton summer air, and yet not fall so light is vanity. Enter Juliet, good evening to my ghostly confessor. Romeo shall thank thee, daughter, for us both, as much to him else is his. Thanks too much, I, Juliet. If the measure of thy joy be heaped like mine, and that thy skill be more to blaze in it, then sweeten with thy breath this neighbor air, and let rich music's tongue enfold the imagined happiness that both receive in either. By this dear encounter, conceit more rich in matter than in words, brags of his substance, not of ornament. They are but beggars that can count their worth. But my true love is grown to such excess, I cannot sum up some of half my wealth. Come with me, and we will make short work. For by your leaves, you shall not stay alone till Holy Church incorporate to in one exit. End of Act 2. Act 3 of Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Act 3, Scene 1. A public place. Enter Mercutio and Volio, page and servants. I pray thee, good Michio, let's retire, the day is hot. The Capulets abroad, and if we meet, shall not escape a brawl. For now these hot days is the mad blood stirring. Thou art like one of these fellows that, when he enters the confines of a tavern, clasps me his sword upon the table and says, God send me no need of thee. And by the operation of the second cup, draws him on the drawer when indeed there is no need. Am I like such a fellow? Come. Thou art as hot a jack in thy mood as any in Italy, and as soon moved to be moody, and as soon moody to be moved, and what to nay? And there were to such we should have none shortly, for one would kill the other. Why thou wilt quarrel with a man that hath a hair more, or a hair less in his beard than thou hast? Thou wilt quarrel with a man for cracking nuts, having no other reason but because thou hast hazel eyes. Would I but such an eye would spy out such a quarrel. Thy head is as full of quarrels as an egg is full of meat, and yet thy head hath been beaten as oddle, as an egg for quarreling. Thou hast quarrelled with a man for coughing in the street, because he hath wakened thy dog, that hath lain asleep in the sun. Didst thou not fall out with a tailor? For wearing his new doublet before Easter, with another for tying his new shoes with an old ribbon. And yet thou wilt tutor me from quarrelling. And I were apt to quarrel as thou art. Any man should buy the sample of my life for an hour and a quarter. The fee simple. Simple by my head. Here come the Capulets by my heel. I care not enter Thibaut and others. Follow me close, for I will speak to them. Gentlemen, good den a word with one of you, and but one word with one of us. Couple it with something, make it a word and a blow. You shall find me apt enough to do that, and sir. You will give me occasion. Could you not take some occasion without giving Mercutio? Thou consort us with Romeo. Consort, what dost thou make us minstrels? And thou make minstrels of us. Look to hear nothing but discords. Here's my fiddlestick, here's that shall make you dance. Sounds consort. We talk here in the public haunt of men. Either withdraw unto some private place, and reason coldly of your grievances, or else depart here, all eyes gaze on us. Men's eyes were made to look, and let them gaze. I will not budge for no man's pleasure. I will. Peace be with you, sir. Here comes my man, enter Romeo. But I'll be hanged, sir, if he wear your livery merry. Go before to the field, he'll be your follower. Your worship in that sense may call him man Romeo. The love I bear, they can afford no better term than this. Thou art a villain, Thibaut. The reason that I have to love thee, doth much excuse the appertaining to rage. Such a greeting, villain am I known. Therefore farewell. I see thou not me not, boy. This shall not excuse the injuries that thou hast done me. Therefore turn and draw. I do protest I never injured thee, but love thee better than thou canst devise, till thou shalt know the reason of my love. And so, good Capulet, which name I tender as dearly as mine own. Satisfied, O calm. Dishonorable vile submission. Elasticata carries it away. Draws. Tybalt, you rat chaser. Will you walk, what wouldst thou have with me? Good king of cats. Nothing but one of your 9 lives that I mean to make. Bold with all, and as you shall use me hereafter. Dry beat the rest of the 8. Will you pluck your sword out of his picture by the ears? Make haste lest mine be about your ears. Arabiad I am for you drawing. Gentle Mercutio, put thy rapier up. Come, sir, your posado they fight. Drop and Volio beat down their weapons. Gentlemen, for shame, forbear this outrage, Tybalt Mercutio. The prince expressly have forbid this banding. In Verona streets hold the bow. God Mercutio, exit the bow with his partisans. Ah! I am hurt. A plague on both your houses. I am sped. Is he gone and hath nothing? What art thou hurt? I, a scratch. Marry, it is enough. Where is my page? Go, villain, fetch a surgeon, exit page. Courage, man, the hurt cannot be much. No, it is not so deep as a well, nor so wide as a church door, but it is enough. It will serve. Ask for me tomorrow, and you shall find me a grave man. I am peppered. I warned for this world a plague of both your houses. Sounds a dog, a rat a mouse, a cat to scratch a man to death, a braggart a rogue, a villain that fights by the book of arithmetic. Why the devil came you between us? I was hurt under your.